Det finns få personer som är så älskade och respekterade i nästan hela världen som den tibetanske buddhistledaren Dalai Lama. Egentligen kan man tycka att han borde vara en deprimerad föredetting, för han fostrades nämligen till att bli statschef och andlig ledare i Tibet. Men 1959 kom kineserna, körde iväg honom, brände tusentals kloster, dödade och förnedrade tiotusentals munkar. Och sedan dess har Dalai Lama bott i Dharamsala. Det ligger i norra Indien bland Himalayas berg, oerhört vackert. Och det var dit jag åkte för att träffa honom. Jag är på väg till Dalai Lama, Tibets politiska och religiösa ledare. Han bor i Dharamsala vid Himalayas berg. Han är 60 år och sedan 1959 när Kina ockuperade Tibet så lever han i landsflykt här i Indien. Dalai Lama fick Nobels fredspris 1989 för att han i sin kamp för ett fritt Tibet konsekvent har motsatt sig våld och bara sökt fredliga lösningar. Resan är inte så kul. Den ska ta ungefär 13 timmar med bil, om allt går som det ska. Det gör det inte. Aha, the fläktrem.
I have what new one would.
Nej, vi kan inte åka när det är mörkt. Klockan 6 på morgonen efter 18 timmar i bil är vi framme i den lilla bergsbyn Dharamsala. Det här är buddhisternas Mecka. Här bor ungefär 5000 tibetanska flyktingar och många västerlänningar vallfärdar hit för att lära sig mer om buddhismen. Jag ser fram emot att få träffa denna nutida Jesusgestalt och jag undrar förstås om man verkligen kan leva upp till myten om sig själv. Kan man vara så fridsam och kärleksfull hela tiden? Very nice to meet you. I'm Stina. Please have a seat. You were selected the reincarnated Dalai Lama when you were very, very small, almost 3 years old. How did they know it was you?
That's rather mysterious thing. Firstly, you see, Buddhism, like some ancient, you see, Indian tradition, you see, we believe rebirth theory. On that basis, you see, reincarnation. The strange thing is, there's one, you see, lake. There, you see, you can see visions or sometimes letters very clearly. So usually I describe that as a old television, ancient television. You see, without any mission, just as a lake.
Yes.
You see, you can see,
Yeah.
see the whole picture. So you see that lake, you see, they appears or show my village.
Okay.
And you see some letter. So on the basis of these indications, this is a search party, you see, went in that area and carried some test. There's a test, you see, there's some article which used by previous, you see, Dalai Lama, and some, you see, another new one, appearingly more attractive, and put, you see, it in the front of child.
So you picked the right thing and you were selected as the Dalai Lama?
Yes.
But you have no memories of this, have you?
No memory.
No. And then they took you away from your parents. That's very, very hard.
My parents also used to stay within the compound of the Nobulinga. So you see, I often used to visit on their home. Then one day, my tutor, they told me, "Oh, you should not go." That time I feel very sad.
And then you laugh. Det var till ett sånt här kloster Dalai Lama kom som 3-åring. Här börjar dagens första meditation 3:30 på morgonen och den håller på 4 timmar i sträck. Det viktigaste med meditationen det är att den ska bidra till att minska människors lidande och den ska hjälpa oss att uppnå nirvana, det högsta andliga tillståndet. Musiken är till för att höja koncentrationen och allt som finns inne i templet ska påminna om vägen till givmildhet, lycka och välbefinnande. As a monk you have the 4 vows. You must not kill or steal or lie, and you have to sexual
Yes.
no sexual activities. Why is it so important with the celibacy?
Celibacy from the Buddhist, according to Buddhist practice, the negative emotion, the ultimate goal is salvation, or the Sanskrit word moksha or nirvana. That is a permanent cessation of all suffering. And you see, the suffering from the Buddhist viewpoint, you see, comes due to negative emotion, such as anger, hatred, attachment. So you see, in order to achieve, you see, that goal, you see, it is very important to reduce negative emotion. But main thing is, you see, they reduce attachment.
Reduce attachment.
Attachment is a desire, negative emotional desire.
Is it possible to eliminate, to take away the desire for women for you?
Well, so of course possible.
It's possible.
You see, of course, not easy.
No.
Of course, the one is attraction, you see, including women. Of course, sometimes the feeling there. And sometimes the sort of, you see, curiosity. Oh, what kind of feeling? that also, see, happen. So therefore, you see, once there's more deeper experience is developed, then you see the attraction or the attachment, the sexual attachment, desire, you see, can reduce. That's certainly.
What is the meaning with all the difficulties and the pain that we have to go through in life?
I don't know. From the Buddhist viewpoint, one level, I believe, the very purpose of our life, our survival, is happiness. The reason is quite clear. We survive on the basis of hope. If one individual is lost completely hope, then you see sometimes some dramatic things may happen, you see, suicide or something like that. And even without that, you see, once you lost completely your hope, then because of that mental attitude, your life certainly is shortened. Basically, the problems, you see, the trouble is, I think, the part of our life. One thing. That does not mean, you see, we have to accept all these problems. No. You see, this certain problem we can avoid. And since, you see, the very purpose of our life is happiness, so it is our right, you see, to make every attempt, you see, to lessen the problem or suffering. And then another, you see, Buddhist concept is because there is possibility to eliminate suffering, there is the desire, wanting happiness, so wanting to overcome suffering. That is one Buddhist literature, it says like that. So this is the indication of, you see, the cessation of suffering.
When you have a conflict between your heart tells you to do one thing and your mind tells you to do something else, what do you do?
I feel, you see, the responsibility of heart and the responsibility of brain is two separate things. The responsibility for the brain is judgment, temporary and long run, positive consequences, negative consequences, things like that. The heart, determination, will, and yes, including self-confidence, and also the compassion, love. These are the responsibility of the heart. So you see, in order to strengthen your determination, see, your intelligence also, you see, has a great role. It's a combination. That's very, very important. As a human being, animal, different matter. Yes. But for, you see, the human being, the human intelligence or the power of judgment, you see, that, and you see, human heart, these two things must go together.
What can Westerners learn from you?
As far as Buddhism is concerned, I think the non-Buddhist, like some Westerners, or generally even non-believer, I think, you see, can learn or can adopt some Buddhist teaching or Buddhist technique to reduce hatred, to increase tolerance or compassion, and also, you see, to increase sharpness of our mind.
Buddhism has become very popular in the Western world. I know that Richard Gere and a lot of other celebrities come here regularly. Why do you think they do that?
Of course, you see, among the people, among the Westerners who show interest towards Buddhism, especially Tibetan Buddhism, of course, variety. I think variety reasons. Some, I feel, through their own experience, they realize the limitation of material as a comfort.
Mm-hmm. Can you show me when I should meditate? How do I sit? Do I sit?
Like this. Mm-hmm. No, the right hand on.
The right hand on the left hand.
Then you do some. Then the head. Sometimes, you see, eyes should look on the space. That's one way. But sometimes, you see, your eyes, you see, just look in front of place, no. And then, you see, the tip of the tongue should touch on what I call
above.
Then the negative emotion a little bit calm down. Your mind become more neutral. Then try to cultivate the positive emotion, compassion, love.
So do you think that everybody has a particular responsibility to do something about the world?
Oh, yes. You see, we are, I believe, the whole world now like, what to say, the one human family. So each of us is a member of the same family. You see, in order to have, what to say, the happier human society or humanity, happier world, all member of the family have the responsibility. I think here, you see, I would like to mention, when we see, you see, the problem, a huge problem, then in spite the sense of responsibility, but then you see, you feel, oh, how much I can, how can you see, I serve? The problem is huge. One is a single person. But then I feel, you see, of course, you see, these problems, unless some kind of, the mass movement, it's difficult to change these. But then initiative must start from individual.
The Chinese, they destroyed 6,000 monasteries. They killed like 1 million Tibetans. They forced the monks and the nuns to break their vows of celibacy. They forced them to kill. How can you say that you should love them?
The genuine compassion is not because someone is close to me, no. Or someone is very helpful to me, not that way. But simply that other sentient being or other human being, just like myself, who do not want pain and who want happiness. On that realization, on the basis of that realization, you see, develop some kind of genuine concern about their, welfare. So on that basis, you see, you develop genuine compassion. You can. So that's genuine compassion. So therefore, you see, irrespective whether you see that person is your friend or your enemy, it doesn't matter.
Even if you look at an individual and say, love the individual, I mean, why should you not resist and fight back to people who does
you see, compassion or forgiveness or tolerance does not mean, you see, you accepted, you see, that thing. That's two things separate. You see, the tolerance means, you see, you restrain a negative feeling, ill feeling or hatred on other. Now, you see, if you look from the Buddhist viewpoint, if you look, you see, to these, you see, two groups, there are more reason, sufficient reason, you see, to feel more compassion towards the person or the community who creates suffering on other, rather than the victim. It's the victim side. Now already, you see, ripening, you see, their negative karma or negative action, previous negative action. The community or the group of the people or the individual person, you see, who creates suffering or pains on other. Now that they, you see, just begin to sow the negative seed for long run negative consequences. So you see, there are reasons to feel more compassion towards, you see, the person or the group of the people.
And that we must all become the new abolitionists. The Vice President of the World Bank, Ismail Salakadin. The United States, even as the European Commission is threatening sanctions against the Rwandan government, details are emerging of yet another tragedy in which Hutu refugees have lost their lives.
It is senseless.
So when you listen to all those bad news, do you meditate on it or how do you?
When I saw the suffering and troubles, and it reminds us how harmful about negative emotion.
Does it never happen that you get very bored with the meditation?
No. And also it's a little bit, I think and also it's make little differences today. When meditation goes very smooth, and after meditation. There's my mind very fresh.
So you're positive. You think that in your lifetime the situation in Tibet is going to improve?
Oh, yes, yes. That's what I believe.
Yes?
The Tibetan issue, for the time being, not much hope for immediate. Then for long run, after a few years, I'm very hopeful.
When you are still alive?
Oh, yes, yes.
It's going to happen good things in Tibet? Are you going to return to Tibet, do you think?
Oh, yes, certainly. I feel this, sooner or later, I think we will find some kind of mutually agreeable solution with the Chinese government. Otherwise, you see, if you use common sense, this present is a situation, neither benefit for China nor to Tibet.
Are you afraid to die?
No.
Are you afraid of anything?
If mad dog comes, I will afraid. That you see, in Tibetan Buddhist practice, there are special sort of training about death. So in my daily practice, about 7 or 8 times, the visualization of death.
So you are used to
some
death.
kind of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's no guarantee. This is a practice can really be effective on the time of death. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I hope.
What is the meaning of life?
So whether there is a meaning or not, the very existence is reality. So it is very important to utilize our life meaningful or constructive. That means happiness, maximum happiness. How to develop happiness? If you if you take care more others, if you give something good for others, ultimately you will be happier person. If you neglect others' right, if you forget about others, and worse, if you exploit on other, then ultimately you will lose. So therefore, taking more care about others' interest, that is ultimately your own interest. So therefore, I feel for a life, compassionate life with full of compassion. That's really constructive life, happy life, meaningful life. That's my fundamental belief.
It's to symbolize hope, because in Sweden...
I don't know. I'm quite heavy.
No, I'm sure you can do it. I can help you. No. If we go 1, 2, 3, and look in the camera, okay?
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Good. New experience. Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Jag är på väg till Dalai Lama, Tibets politiska och religiösa ledare. Han bor i Dharamsala vid Himalayas berg. Resan är inte så kul. Den ska ta ungefär 13 timmar med bil, om allt går som det ska. Det gör det inte. Aha, the fläktrem.
I have got new one. But...
Det Det finns få personer som är så älskade och respekterade i nästan hela världen som den tibetanske buddhistledaren Dalai Lama. Egentligen kan man tycka att han borde vara en deprimerad föredetting, för han fostrades nämligen till att bli statschef och andlig ledare i Tibet. Men 1959 kom kineserna, körde iväg honom, brände tusentals kloster, dödade och förnedrade tiotusentals munkar. Han är 60 år och sedan 1959 när Kina ockuperade Tibet så lever han i landsflykt här i Indien. Dalai Lama fick Nobels fredspris 1989 för att han i sin kamp för ett fritt Tibet konsekvent har motsatt sig våld och bara sökt fredliga lösningar. Och sedan dess har Dalai Lama bott i Dharamsala. Det ligger i norra Indien bland Himalayas berg, oerhört vackert. Och det var dit jag åkte för att träffa honom.